Amelia slapped the cleaner so hard in public that everyone gasped in shock. She insulted him, humiliated him, and called him useless. But 2 years later, she lived to regret it when fate brought them face to face again with a shocking twist. What secret was the cleaner hiding? And how will Amelia react when the truth finally comes out? Let's dive into this story that will leave you in awe and shock. In the bustling city of Lagos, in the heart of Victoria Island, there lived a young woman named Amelia Okafor. She was 24 years old, with smooth dark skin, long Brazilian hair that cascaded down her back, and eyes that sparkled with confidence and pride. Amelia was beautiful, everyone agreed on that, but her beauty was like a flower with thorns, lovely to look at but painful to touch. Amelia came from wealth. Her father, Mr. Benjamin Okafor, was a successful businessman who owned several companies across Nigeria. He had built an empire from nothing, working day and night to give his family the best life possible. But Mr. Benjamin Okafor had lost his first wife, Amelia's mother, when Amelia was only 10 years old. The loss broke him, and for years he raised Amelia alone, pouring all his love and resources into his only daughter. But 5 years ago, Mr. Benjamin remarried. His new wife was called Auntie Gloria by everyone in the house, though Amelia refused to call her anything but that woman. Auntie Gloria was in her early 40s, with a sharp tongue and sharper eyes. She had 2 children from a previous marriage, but they lived abroad. From the moment she entered the Okafor household, Auntie Gloria saw Amelia as a threat to her comfort and inheritance. Auntie Gloria was cunning. In front of Mr. Benjamin, she was the perfect wife, always smiling, always supportive, always loving. But when Mr. Benjamin Okafor traveled for business, which was often, Auntie Gloria's true nature emerged like a snake from tall grass. She would make snide comments about Amelia's mother, saying things like, "Your mother didn't teach you properly before she left this world." She would criticize everything Amelia did, from how she dressed to how she spoke. But instead of making Amelia humble, Auntie Gloria's cruelty had the opposite effect. Amelia became harder, colder, more arrogant. She built walls around her heart so high that kindness couldn't climb over them. She learned to look down on people before they could look down on her. She became the very thing Auntie Gloria accused her of being, spoiled, rude, and heartless. Amelia attended the University of Lagos, studying business administration, but she rarely attended classes. Why should she? Her father's wealth meant she would inherit his companies whether she had a degree or not. She spent her days shopping on Admiralty Way, eating at expensive restaurants in Ikoyi, and posting pictures on social media that made other girls green with envy. The staff at the Okafor mansion knew Amelia well. She was their nightmare. She would scream at the cook if the food wasn't exactly how she wanted it. She would curse at the driver if he arrived even 2 minutes late. She would fire the housemaids for the smallest mistakes. And her father, blinded by his love for his daughter, would always support her decisions. One particular Wednesday morning, Amelia woke up in a foul mood. She had argued with Auntie Gloria the night before about some jewelry that had gone missing. Auntie Gloria had insinuated that Amelia was careless and irresponsible, and though Mr. Benjamin Okafor had defended his daughter, the words still stung. Amelia decided to go to the Palms shopping mall in Lekki to lift her spirits. She called her driver, Musa, and told him to bring the car around immediately. Musa, a quiet man in his 50s who had worked for the family for over a decade, hurried to get the Mercedes ready. As they drove through the Lagos traffic, Amelia sat in the back seat, scrolling through her phone with a scowl on her face. She was so absorbed in her world that she didn't notice Musa glancing at her through the rearview mirror with sad, worried eyes. He had watched this girl grow up. He remembered when she was kind and sweet before her mother died, before Auntie Gloria came into their lives, but now she was unrecognizable. When they arrived at the Palms, Amelia stepped out of the car without saying a word to Musa. She was wearing a tight-fitting designer dress, expensive heels, and sunglasses that cost more than most people's monthly salary. She walked through the mall like she owned it, her heels clicking against the marble floor, her head held high. As she browsed through a boutique, trying on clothes she had no intention of buying, she heard a commotion outside. A crowd was gathering near the fountain area in the center of the mall. Curious and always drawn to drama, Amelia walked over to see what was happening. In the middle of the gathering crowd, a young man was on his hands and knees, scrubbing the floor. He was a cleaner, wearing a simple blue uniform with the mall's logo on it. He was perhaps in his late 20s, with a lean frame and focused concentration on his work. His name tag read Nathan, but no one bothered to read it. What had caused the commotion was that someone had spilled a large cup of juice on the floor, and the cleaner was working quickly to clean it up before someone slipped. But the spill was right in the middle of a walkway, and people were having to step around him, some complaining loudly about the inconvenience. Amelia, walking with her shopping bags and not paying attention, suddenly felt her expensive heel step into a wet patch. She looked down and saw that her shoe was now soiled with the remnants of the spilled juice. Her face twisted with rage. "What is this nonsense?" she screamed, her voice echoing through the mall. "Are you blind? Can't you see people are walking here?" The cleaner, Nathan, looked up, his eyes wide with surprise and apology. "I'm very sorry, Ma. Someone just spilled this juice and I was trying to clean it quickly before..." "Before what?" Amelia cut him off, her voice dripping with venom. "Before you ruin people's expensive things. Do you know how much these shoes cost? Do you know who I am?" Nathan stood up slowly, holding his cleaning cloth in his hand. "Ma, I truly apologize. I didn't see you coming. Please, I can help clean your shoes." "Clean my shoe?" Amelia laughed, a cruel, mocking sound that made people in the crowd wince. "With those dirty hands? You're just a common cleaner. You probably can't even afford to look at these shoes, let alone touch them." The crowd had grown larger now. Some people were recording on their phones, while others whispered among themselves. Nathan's face remained calm, but there was a flicker of pain in his eyes. "Ma, I understand you're upset," he said quietly, his voice respectful but firm. "But I'm doing my job. I clean so that this place can be comfortable for everyone, including you. There's dignity in every honest work." His words, instead of calming Amelia, enraged her further. How dare this nobody lecture her about dignity? "Dignity," she spat. "What do you know about dignity? You clean toilets for a living. You're nothing. You're beneath me." And then, before anyone could react, before even she fully realized what she was doing, Amelia raised her hand and slapped Nathan hard across the face. The sound echoed through the mall like a gunshot. The crowd gasped. Some people covered their mouths in shock, others shouted in disapproval. Nathan's face turned to the side from the force of the slap. A red mark immediately began to form on his cheek, but when he turned back to face Amelia, there was no anger in his eyes. Only a deep, profound sadness that seemed to reach into places Amelia didn't know existed. He looked at her for a long moment, and then he said quietly, "I will pray for you." Those 4 words hit Amelia harder than any slap could. She felt something twist in her chest, something uncomfortable and unfamiliar. But she pushed it down, burying it under her pride and anger. "Keep your prayers," she said coldly. "Just stay out of my way." She turned on her heel and walked away, leaving Nathan standing there, his cheeks still red, his dignity intact. The crowd parted for her, but the looks they gave her were not of admiration or respect. They were looks of disgust and disappointment. As Amelia walked back to where Musa was waiting with the car, she could feel eyes on her back. She could hear whispers following her like shadows. But she kept her head high, refusing to show any emotion. When she got into the car, Musa looked at her through the mirror. "Is everything all right, Amelia?" "Drive," she snapped. "Just drive." On the way home, Amelia's phone began to buzz repeatedly. She looked at it and her heart sank. The videos of her slapping the cleaner were already going viral on social media. People were tagging her, calling her names, demanding she apologize. The comments were brutal. "Rich girl thinks she can treat people like trash. This is what's wrong with Nigeria. The rich have no respect for the poor. Someone needs to teach this girl a lesson. I hope karma catches up with her." Amelia felt a wave of panic. She quickly deleted all her social media apps, but she knew the damage was done. By the time she got home, her phone was ringing non-stop. It was her father. "Amelia!" Mr. Benjamin Okafor's voice boomed through the phone. "What is this nonsense I'm seeing online? Did you really slap someone in public?" "Daddy, it's not what it looks like," Amelia began, her voice shaking. "He ruined my shoes and—" "I don't want to hear excuses." Mr. Benjamin Okafor cut her off. Do you know what this does to our family name? Do you know how many business partners have called me today? I'm flying back to Lagos tomorrow. The line went dead. Amelia sat in her room, staring at the phone in her hand. For the first time in years, she felt genuinely afraid. That evening, Auntie Gloria knocked on Amelia's door. When Amelia opened it, she expected to see a smug smile on her stepmother's face. But instead, Auntie Gloria looked almost pleased in a different way, like a cat that had caught a mouse. I saw what you did today, Auntie Gloria said, her voice smooth like honey laced with poison. Your father is very angry, very, very angry. I tried to calm him down, but you know how he gets when the family name is tarnished. I don't need your fake concern, Amelia said, trying to slam the door, but Auntie Gloria put her foot in the doorway. I'm not concerned, my dear. I'm just here to tell you that you've finally shown everyone who you really are. A spoiled, cruel little girl who thinks the world revolves around her. Your mother would be ashamed. The mention of her mother made something snap inside Amelia. Get out, she screamed. Get out of my room. You have no right to talk about my mother. Auntie Gloria smiled slowly. Your father will see the truth soon enough. You're not fit to inherit anything. You're a disgrace. She turned and walked away, leaving Amelia trembling with rage and deep down fear. The next day, Mr. Benjamin Okafor returned home. He called Amelia into his study, his face grave and stern. It was a face she had never seen directed at her before. Sit down, he said, his voice cold. Amelia sat, her hands folded in her lap, her eyes downcast. Do you understand what you've done? Mr. Benjamin Okafor asked. That video has been viewed by millions of people. Our family is being mocked. My business partners are questioning my judgment. Some are even threatening to end their contracts with me because they don't want to be associated with someone who raised such a child. Daddy, I'm sorry, Amelia whispered. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Sorry isn't enough. Mr. Benjamin Okafor slammed his hand on the desk. I have given you everything, and this is how you repay me, by humiliating our family name. Tears began to stream down Amelia's face. I'll fix it, Daddy. I'll apologize publicly. I'll do whatever you want. Mr. Benjamin Okafor leaned back in his chair, his face weary. You will apologize. But that's not all. You're going to learn what it means to work for a living. You're going to learn humility. Amelia looked up, confused. What do you mean? Starting Monday, you will work at one of my companies. Not as the owner's daughter, but as a regular employee. You will start from the bottom and work your way up. No special treatment, no exceptions. Daddy, no, Amelia cried. You can't do this to me. I can and I will, Mr. Benjamin Okafor said firmly. This is not a punishment, Amelia. This is a lesson. And if you refuse, I will cut off your allowance completely. You will learn to survive on your own. Amelia's world crumbled around her. She had never worked a day in her life. The thought of waking up early, dressing in regular clothes, taking orders from people she considered beneath her, it was unthinkable. But she had no choice. That weekend, Amelia barely left her room. She ignored Auntie Gloria's mocking laughter. She ignored the calls from her friends, most of whom had distanced themselves from her after the video went viral. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering how her life had fallen apart so quickly. On Monday morning, Musa drove Amelia to one of her father's companies, a large logistics firm in Ikeja. She was dressed in simple, modest clothes, nothing like her usual expensive outfits. Her father had given strict instructions. She was to be treated like any other new employee. When she walked into the building, the receptionist looked at her with barely concealed disdain. You must be the new office assistant, she said curtly. Go to the second floor. Mrs. Adeyemi will brief you on your duties. Office assistant. Amelia felt humiliation burn through her, but she climbed the stairs, her head held high, even as her pride lay shattered. Mrs. Adeyemi was a no-nonsense woman in her 50s who had worked for Mr. Benjamin Okafor for over 20 years. She knew exactly who Amelia was, but she showed no favoritism. Your duties are simple, Mrs. Adeyemi said. You will assist with filing documents, making photocopies, serving tea during meetings, and any other tasks assigned to you. You will arrive at 8 a.m. and leave at 5 p.m. You get a 30-minute lunch break. Any questions? Amelia wanted to scream. She wanted to tell this woman that she was Mr. Benjamin Okafor's daughter, that she didn't serve tea to anyone. But she remembered her father's warning, refuse and you're on your own. No questions, Amelia said through gritted teeth. The first week was a nightmare. Amelia's feet ached from standing. Her hands were tired from filing endless documents. The other employees whispered about her, some with pity, others with satisfaction at seeing the mighty fallen. During meetings, she had to serve tea and coffee to men and women who had once bowed to her. Each cup she placed on the table felt like a piece of her pride being stripped away. But the worst part was the loneliness. At the Okafor mansion, Auntie Gloria's cruelty had intensified. She would make comments at dinner about how fitting it was that Amelia was finally learning her place. Mr. Benjamin Okafor, exhausted from dealing with the fallout of the viral video, said nothing in his daughter's defense. 3 weeks into her new job, Amelia was walking through the company's warehouse, delivering some documents to the logistics manager, when she saw something that made her stop in her tracks. There, organizing boxes and checking inventory, was Nathan, the cleaner from the mall, the man she had slapped. But he wasn't wearing a cleaner's uniform. He was wearing the company's logistics officer uniform, and he was giving instructions to other workers who listened to him with respect. Amelia's first instinct was to turn and run, but before she could, Nathan looked up and saw her. Their eyes met across the warehouse. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then Nathan walked over to her, his face neutral and professional. "Good morning," he said. "Can I help you with something?" Amelia's throat felt dry. I'm just delivering these documents to Mr. Bello." "Mr. Bello is in a meeting," Nathan said. "You can leave the documents with me. I'll make sure he gets them." Amelia handed over the documents, her hands shaking slightly. She wanted to say something, anything, but the words wouldn't come. Nathan took the documents and was about to walk away when Amelia finally found her voice. "Wait," she said. He turned back, his expression still neutral. I didn't know you worked here," Amelia said lamely. "There's a lot you don't know," Nathan replied. "The cleaner job at the mall was just a side hustle to help a friend who owns the cleaning company. This is my main job. I'm the assistant logistics manager." Amelia felt heat rise to her cheeks. She had assumed, like she always assumed, that she was better than him, that he was nothing, but here he was in a position higher than hers. "I'm sorry," she blurted out suddenly, "for what I did at the mall. I was wrong, I was cruel, I'm sorry." Nathan studied her for a long moment. "Thank you for the apology," he said finally, "but apologies mean nothing without change." He walked away, leaving Amelia standing there, feeling smaller than she had ever felt in her life. Over the next few weeks, Amelia found herself watching Nathan from a distance. She noticed things she hadn't seen before. The way he helped younger employees when they made mistakes, patiently teaching them instead of shouting. The way he greeted everyone, from the CEO to the security guard, with the same respect. The way people smiled when he walked by, genuinely happy to see him. One afternoon, Amelia was struggling to carry a heavy box of files up the stairs. She had refused to ask for help, her pride still too strong. But halfway up, she stumbled, and the box slipped from her hands, files scattering everywhere. "Let me help you," a voice said. She looked up to see Nathan bending down to pick up the files. Together, they gathered the scattered papers and reorganized them. "Thank you," Amelia said quietly. "You should ask for help when you need it," Nathan said. "There's no shame in it." "I'm not used to asking for help," Amelia admitted. "I'm not used to any of this." Nathan looked at her thoughtfully. "Change is hard, but it's necessary for growth." They carried the box upstairs together, working in companionable silence. It was the first time in weeks that Amelia had felt anything other than misery. As the weeks turned into months, something began to shift inside Amelia. The hard edges of her personality started to soften. She began to say thank you to the tea vendor who brought her lunch. She started helping her colleagues when they were overwhelmed with work. She even began to arrive early and leave late, genuinely trying to do her job well. One day, Mrs. Adeyemi called her into her office. Amelia's heart raced, thinking she had done something wrong. "Sit down, Amelia," Mrs. Adeyemi said, her voice softer than usual. Amelia sat, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. "I've been watching you," Mrs. Adeyemi said. "When you first came here, I'll be honest, I didn't think you would last a week. I thought you were just a spoiled rich girl playing at being humble." Amelia's face flushed, but she said nothing. "But you've surprised me," Mrs. Adeyemi continued. "You've worked hard. You've learned. You've changed. I see it. Everyone sees it." Tears pricked at Amelia's eyes. It was the first genuine praise she had received in months. "Thank you," she whispered. "Your father would be proud," Mrs. Adeyemi said. "I've sent him reports on your progress. He doesn't say much, but I know he's watching." After that conversation, Amelia felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. Maybe she could change. Maybe she wasn't doomed to be the cruel, arrogant girl she had become. But her transformation wasn't going unnoticed at home. Auntie Gloria, sensing that Amelia was regaining her footing, decided to strike. One evening, Mr. Benjamin Okafor announced that he was hosting a major business dinner at the house. Important clients and partners would be attending. It was a crucial meeting that could determine the future of several major contracts. "Amelia," Mr. Benjamin Okafor said, "I want you to help with the preparations. Work with the event planner. Make sure everything is perfect." It was the first time in months that her father had given her a responsibility related to the family business. Amelia agreed eagerly, determined to prove herself. She worked tirelessly over the next week, coordinating with caterers, decorators, and staff. She double-checked every detail, from the menu to the seating arrangements. She wanted everything to be perfect. But on the night of the dinner, disaster struck. The caterer called to say their truck had broken down and they couldn't make it. Amelia's heart stopped. Without food, the entire evening would be ruined. She called every catering company she could think of, but it was too late notice. No one could help. Panic set in. She could already see the disappointment on her father's face, hear Auntie Gloria's mocking laughter. Then she remembered something. Nathan had once mentioned that his mother ran a small catering business. It was a long shot, but she had no other options. She called Nathan, her voice shaking. "Please, I need your help." Without hesitation, Nathan said, "I'll be there in an hour." True to his word, Nathan arrived with his mother and a team of helpers. They had prepared an entire menu of delicious traditional Nigerian dishes. Working together, they set up the dining area, plated the food beautifully, and ensured everything was ready just as the guests began to arrive. The dinner was a massive success. The guests raved about the food. Mr. Benjamin Okafor's business deals were sealed. And through it all, Amelia worked alongside Nathan and his team, serving food, clearing plates, making sure everyone was comfortable. When the last guest had left and the house was quiet, Mr. Benjamin Okafor called Amelia into his study. She went, exhausted but proud of what they had accomplished. "You did well tonight," Mr. Benjamin Okafor said. "But more importantly, you showed humility. You asked for help. You worked as part of a team. That's something the old Amelia would never have done." Amelia felt tears welling up. "I'm trying to be better, Daddy. I really am." Mr. Benjamin Okafor stood and walked over to his daughter, pulling her into a hug. "I know, my dear. I know. Your mother would be proud of the woman you're becoming." It was the first time in years that Amelia had felt truly seen by her father, truly loved. But outside the study, pressed against the wall, Auntie Gloria had heard everything, and she was not pleased. The next few weeks brought more changes. Mr. Benjamin Okafor promoted Amelia to a junior management position at the company. It wasn't a huge leap, but it was progress. She was finally moving up based on her own merit, not her father's name. Amelia and Nathan began working together more frequently. They discovered they worked well as a team, complementing each other's strengths. Amelia was good at big-picture planning, while Nathan excelled at execution and details. Slowly, carefully, friendship bloomed between them. Amelia found herself looking forward to their morning meetings. She appreciated how Nathan never held her past mistakes over her head, never made her feel less than. He treated her with respect, but also challenged her to think differently, to be better. One afternoon, they were working late on a particularly challenging project. Everyone else had gone home, and it was just the two of them in the office. "Can I ask you something?" Amelia said, breaking the comfortable silence. Of course, Nathan replied, not looking up from his computer. Why didn't you report me? After the mall incident, you could have pressed charges, you could have sued me. Why didn't you? Nathan finally looked up, his eyes serious, because I saw something in you that day. Beneath all that anger and cruelty, I saw pain. I saw someone who was hurting and lashing out. I've learned that hurt people hurt people. I figured you needed grace more than you needed punishment. Amelia felt something crack open inside her chest. I was hurting, she admitted. My stepmother, she's cruel to me. Has been since she married my father, and instead of dealing with that pain, I took it out on everyone else. On people like you who didn't deserve it. Your stepmother doesn't define you, Nathan said gently. Only you can define yourself, and from what I've seen these past few months, you're defining yourself quite well. Their friendship deepened after that conversation. They began having lunch together, discussing everything from work to family to dreams for the future. Amelia learned that Nathan was working toward getting his MBA. He took care of his aging mother and 3 younger siblings. Everything he earned went toward their education and well-being. He was the definition of selfless. Amelia found herself admiring him in ways she had never admired anyone before. It wasn't just his looks, though she had come to realize he was quite handsome. It was his character, his kindness, his quiet strength. He made her want to be a better person. But Auntie Gloria was watching, and she didn't like what she saw. One evening, Auntie Gloria called Amelia into the living room. Mr. Benjamin Okafor was traveling again, and they were alone in the house. I've noticed you spending a lot of time with that cleaner boy, Auntie Gloria said, her voice dripping with disdain. His name is Nathan, Amelia said firmly, and he's not a cleaner. He's the assistant logistics manager. Whatever he is, Auntie Gloria waved her hand dismissively, he's beneath you. You're a chief's daughter. You can't be seen associating with people like that. What will people say? I don't care what people say, Amelia replied, surprising herself with her boldness. Nathan is a good person. He's kind, hard-working, and honest. That's more than I can say for most people I know. Auntie Gloria's eyes narrowed. You're getting too comfortable, too confident. Don't forget that I can still make your life very difficult. You've been making my life difficult since the day you walked into this house, Amelia said, standing up. But I'm not afraid of you anymore. I know who I am now, and I know who you are. She walked out of the room, leaving Auntie Gloria staring after her with rage burning in her eyes. In the following weeks, things continued to change. Mr. Benjamin Okafor promoted Amelia to the position of Special Projects Manager. She would be responsible for the company's corporate social responsibility initiatives. It was a real role with real responsibilities, and Amelia embraced it fully. She and Nathan worked together on several projects, building schools, providing scholarships, and creating job training programs for underprivileged youth. Their partnership was seamless, and people in the company began to notice that they worked better together than apart. One evening, after a particularly long day, Nathan offered to drive Amelia home. Musa had taken the day off, and Amelia had taken public transportation to work, something that would have been unthinkable 6 months ago. As they drove through the Lagos evening traffic, Amelia found herself studying Nathan's profile. The strong line of his jaw, the way his hands gripped the steering wheel with confidence but not aggression, the peaceful expression on his face even in the chaos of Lagos traffic. What are you thinking about? Nathan asked, catching her staring. Amelia felt heat rise to her cheeks. I was thinking about how different my life is now. How different I am. Do you miss it? Nathan asked. The old life? Amelia thought about it for a moment. Sometimes I miss the simplicity of not caring, of just taking what I wanted without thinking about consequences. But no, I don't miss who I was. That person was empty, angry, alone. And now, Nathan prompted. Now I feel full, like I'm actually living instead of just existing. And a lot of that is because of you. Nathan glanced at her quickly before turning his eyes back to the road. I didn't do anything special. I just treated you like a human being. That's exactly what was special, Amelia said softly. After everything I did to you, you still saw me as someone worth saving. They arrived at the Okafor mansion, but neither of them moved to get out of the car. The silence between them was comfortable but charged with something unspoken. "Amelia," Nathan said finally, his voice serious, "I need to tell you something." Her heart began to beat faster. "What is it?" "I've been offered a position in Abuja. It's a great opportunity, a promotion with better pay. I could help my family more, maybe finally get my MBA." Amelia felt her stomach drop. That's wonderful. When would you leave?" "In 2 weeks," Nathan said, "but I'm not sure I want to go." "Why not?" Amelia asked, though part of her desperately hoped she knew the answer. Nathan turned to face her fully. "Because everything I care about is here. My family, my church, my work." He paused, his eyes searching hers. "You." The word hung in the air between them like a prayer. Amelia felt tears prick at her eyes. "You can't give up that opportunity for me," she said. And dead. Even though her heart was breaking. "You've worked so hard. You deserve it." "Some things are worth more than career advancement," Nathan said, "but I need to know if you feel the same way I do. If there's a chance for us." Amelia's mind raced. Did she have feelings for Nathan? She thought about how her day only felt complete when she saw him, how his opinion mattered more to her than anyone else's, how safe she felt in his presence, how his smile could lift her out of any dark mood. "I do," she whispered. "I feel the same way, but I'm scared." "Scared of what?" Nathan asked gently. "Scared that I'll hurt you again, scared that I'll revert back to who I was, scared that I'm not good enough for you." Nathan reached out and took her hand. His palm was warm and calloused from honest work. "You are good enough, more than good enough. And I'm not afraid of who you used to be. I'm in love with who you are now." Those words, spoken so simply and honestly, broke something open inside Amelia. She leaned across the console and kissed him. It was her first real kiss, the first time she had ever felt truly vulnerable and safe at the same time. When they pulled apart, both of them were smiling. "I'm not taking the job in Abuja," Nathan said firmly. "Yes, you are," Amelia replied. "But I'm coming with you." Nathan looked surprised. "What? How?" "My father has been talking about expanding the business to Abuja. I'll propose heading up that expansion. We can go together, build something new together." And that's exactly what they did. But first, Amelia had to tell her father about her relationship with Nathan. She chose a Sunday afternoon when Mr. Benjamin Okafor was relaxed, sitting in his study reading the newspaper. She knocked softly on the door. "Come in," he called. Amelia entered and sat down across from her father. "Daddy, I need to talk to you about something important." Mr. Benjamin Okafor put down his paper, giving her his full attention. "What is it, my dear?" "I'm in love with Nathan," she said simply, "and I want to be with him." Mr. Benjamin Okafor was quiet for a long moment. Then he leaned back in his chair, a small smile playing at his lips. "I've been waiting for you to realize that." "You knew?" Amelia asked, surprised. "A father knows," Mr. Benjamin Okafor said. "I've seen the way you look at him, the way he looks at you. I've seen how he brings out the best in you. How can I object to that?" "But he's not wealthy," Amelia said. "He doesn't come from a prominent family." "Auntie Gloria will—" "Auntie Gloria's opinion doesn't matter," Mr. Benjamin Okafor cut her off firmly. "What matters is that he's a good man. An honest man, a hard-working man who treats you with respect and kindness. Those are the qualities that matter, not money, not status." He stood up and walked over to Amelia, placing his hands on her shoulders. "Your mother and I didn't come from wealth either. We built everything from nothing, and we did it together, with love and hard work. If Nathan is the man you love, then you have my blessing." Amelia threw her arms around her father, crying tears of joy. "Thank you, Daddy. Thank you." But as expected, Auntie Gloria did not take the news well. When Mr. Benjamin Okafor announced at dinner that Amelia and Nathan were in a relationship, Auntie Gloria's face turned purple with rage. "This is absolutely unacceptable," she shouted, slamming her hand on the table. "A cleaner? You're allowing your daughter to date a common cleaner." "He's not a cleaner," Mr. Benjamin Okafor said calmly. "He's a respected employee with a bright future. And even if he was a cleaner, there's dignity in honest work, something you clearly don't understand. I understand that she's throwing away her future. Auntie Gloria spat. What about the Adekunle boy? Or the senator's son? People of our class, our status. Status means nothing if you're miserable, Amelia said quietly. I'd rather be happy with Nathan than miserable with a rich man I don't love. Auntie Gloria turned her fury on Amelia. You've changed, and not for the better. You used to have standards. Now you're just like your moth. Enough. Mr. Benjamin Okafor's voice boomed through the dining room. You will not speak about my late wife. You will not speak about my daughter's choices. This is my house, and in this house we respect Amelia's decision. Auntie Gloria stood up, her chair scraping loudly against the floor. Fine. But don't come crying to me when this all falls apart, when he leaves you for someone from his own class, when you realize you've made the biggest mistake of your life. She stormed out of the room, leaving Amelia and Mr. Benjamin Okafor in silence. Don't listen to her, Mr. Benjamin Okafor said gently. She's just bitter because she married for money and found it doesn't buy happiness. Over the next few weeks, Amelia and Nathan made their plans. Mr. Benjamin Okafor approved the Abuja expansion and appointed Amelia to head it. Nathan accepted the promotion. They would move to Abuja together, though they would maintain separate apartments out of respect for tradition until they were married. But Auntie Gloria wasn't finished. She had one more card to play. One evening, she called Amelia into her room. It was the first time she had spoken to Amelia civilly in weeks. I want to apologize, Auntie Gloria said, though her eyes held no warmth. I was wrong to react the way I did. If you love this man, then I should support you. Amelia was immediately suspicious. Auntie Gloria apologizing? It felt wrong. Thank you, Amelia said cautiously. In fact, Auntie Gloria continued, I'd like to meet him properly. To get to know the man who's won my stepdaughter's heart. Why don't you invite him for dinner this Saturday? I'll cook something special. Amelia wanted to refuse. Every instinct told her this was a trap, but Mr. Benjamin Okafor, when she told him, encouraged her to accept. Give her a chance, he said. Maybe she's finally coming around. So that Saturday, Nathan came to the Okafor mansion for dinner. He arrived dressed simply but neatly, carrying a gift of wine for Mr. Benjamin Okafor and flowers for Auntie Gloria. Auntie Gloria greeted him with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Welcome, Nathan. Please make yourself at home. Dinner started off well. They made small talk about work, about Nathan's family, about the upcoming move to Abuja. Mr. Benjamin Okafor and Nathan got along wonderfully, discussing business and politics with easy camaraderie. But then Auntie Gloria struck. Nathan, she said sweetly, I'm curious. How do you plan to support Amelia? I mean, she's used to a certain lifestyle, designer clothes, expensive cars, international vacations. Can you afford that on your salary? The table fell silent. Amelia felt anger flare inside her. Auntie Gloria, that's not… She began, but Nathan gently squeezed her hand under the table. It's a fair question, he said calmly. The truth is, I can't afford that lifestyle. Not now, maybe not ever. But what I can offer Amelia is respect, loyalty, and a partnership built on love and mutual support. I believe those things are worth more than designer labels. But love doesn't pay bills, Auntie Gloria pressed. What happens when the romance fades and reality sets in? When Amelia realizes what she's given up? I haven't given up anything, Amelia interjected firmly. I've gained everything. I've gained a partner who sees me for who I really am, who challenges me to be better, who loves me not for my father's money but for me. How noble, Auntie Gloria said sarcastically. But let me ask you this, Nathan. What if Amelia loses everything? What if Mr. Benjamin Okafor's businesses fail? What if there's no inheritance? Would you still want to marry her then? Nathan looked directly at Auntie Gloria, his gaze steady and unwavering. Ma, I fell in love with Amelia when she was at her lowest, when the whole world was mocking her online, when she was working as an office assistant, serving tea and filing documents. I didn't fall in love with Mr. Benjamin Okafor's daughter. I fell in love with Amelia, just Amelia. So yes, even if she had nothing, I would still love her. I would still choose her. His words hung in the air like a declaration of war against Auntie Gloria's cynicism. Even Mr. Benjamin Okafor looked moved. his eyes glistening slightly. Auntie Gloria, realizing she had lost this battle, stood up abruptly. "Excuse me," she said coldly. "I've suddenly lost my appetite." She left the room, and the rest of the dinner continued in a much warmer atmosphere. As Mr. Benjamin Okafor walked Nathan to his car later that evening, he pulled the young man aside. "You love my daughter," he said. "It wasn't a question." "More than anything, sir," Nathan replied. "Then you have my blessing to marry her," Mr. Benjamin Okafor said. "Not that you needed it, but I want you to know you have it." Nathan's eyes widened. "Sir, thank you. I promise I'll take care of her." "I know you will," Mr. Benjamin Okafor said. "You already have been." 3 months later, Amelia and Nathan had settled into their new life in Abuja. The business expansion was going well. Amelia had proven herself to be a capable leader, and Nathan excelled in his new role. They saw each other every day, building their relationship on a foundation of friendship, respect, and love. One Saturday morning, Nathan called Amelia and asked her to meet him at Millennium Park. It was their favorite spot, a place they often went to talk and dream about the future. When Amelia arrived, she found the area decorated with flowers and candles. Her heart began to race. Nathan stood in the center, wearing a nervous smile. "What's all this?" Amelia asked, though she suspected she knew. "Amelia Okafor," Nathan began, taking her hands in his. 2 years ago, you slapped me in a mall. You called me nothing. You looked at me like I was beneath you." Amelia felt tears already forming in her eyes. "But even in that moment," Nathan continued, "I saw past your anger to your pain, and I knew that one day you would become the amazing woman I see standing before me now. You've changed my life, Amelia. You've shown me what it means to truly transform, to choose growth over comfort, and I want to spend the rest of my life growing alongside you." He got down on one knee, pulling out a simple but beautiful ring. "Will you marry me?" Amelia was crying freely now, tears of joy streaming down her face. "Yes," she sobbed. "Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes." He slipped the ring onto her finger and stood up, pulling her into his arms. They kissed as the morning sun rose over Abuja, illuminating their future together. The wedding took place 6 months later in Lagos. It was a beautiful blend of traditional and modern, held at the same church where Nathan's family worshipped. Amelia wore a stunning white wedding gown and traditional aso-oke, looking more beautiful than she ever had in all her designer outfits. Mr. Benjamin Okafor walked his daughter down the aisle with tears in his eyes. "Your mother would be so proud," he whispered. Auntie Gloria attended the wedding, though she sat in the back with a permanent scowl on her face. But Amelia didn't care. This day wasn't about Auntie Gloria. It was about love, forgiveness, and new beginnings. During the reception, Amelia asked to say a few words. She stood up, holding Nathan's hand, and addressed their guests. "Most of you know our story," she began. "You know that I met my husband when I was at my worst. When I slapped him in public and humiliated him. Some of you were there, some of you saw the video, and I'm not going to stand here and make excuses for who I was." The room was silent, everyone listening intently. "I was cruel. I was arrogant. I was everything wrong with privilege without responsibility. But this man," she looked at Nathan with love in her eyes, "this beautiful man had the grace to forgive me, the patience to watch me grow, the wisdom to see who I could become instead of judging me for who I was." She turned back to the audience. "Our story isn't a fairy tale. It's a testimony to the power of forgiveness, to the importance of humility, to the truth that no one is beyond redemption if they're willing to change. So to anyone here who has ever been cruel, who has ever looked down on someone, who has ever thought they were better than another person because of money or status or power, I want you to know, you can change. It won't be easy. It will be humbling and painful, and it will strip away everything you thought defined you. But on the other side of that transformation is something beautiful, something real, something worth more than all the money in the world." She raised her glass. "To new beginnings, to second chances, to love that transforms. To love that transforms," the guests echoed, raising their glasses. As the night wore on and people danced and celebrated, Amelia found a quiet moment with her father. "Thank you, Daddy," she said, "for not giving up on me. for forcing me to change even when I fought against it. Mr. Benjamin Okafor pulled his daughter close. I never gave up on you because I knew who you really were. Sometimes we lose ourselves in pain and anger, but the real person is always there, waiting to come back. I miss Mama, Amelia said softly. I wish she could see this, see who I've become. She knows, Mr. Benjamin Okafor said with certainty. She knows, and she's smiling. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What touched your heart most about Amelia and Nathan's story? Have you ever judged someone unfairly? Have you ever received grace when you didn't deserve it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might inspire someone else. If this story moved you, please hit that like button and share it with your friends and family. Someone out there needs to hear this message today. Someone is struggling with pride, with anger, with the belief that they're better than others. This story might be exactly what they need to hear. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our next powerful story. We have so many more testimonies of transformation, redemption, and love to share with you. Remember, it's never too late to change. It's never too late to become the person you were always meant to be. Thank you for watching until the end. May you choose kindness over cruelty, humility over pride, and love over everything else. See you in the next story. God bless you.